am so excited to have with me. At this point, I call him a good friend, but John Boyd, president of the Black Farmers Association. And we're here to discuss systematic challenges Black farmers have faced in the U.S., as well as a recent announcement by the U.S. Department of Agriculture that a financial assistance program will be open for those who've experienced discrimination in USDA farm lending program since 2021. But I want people to understand that at the beginning of the 20th century, Black farmers owned about 15 million acres of farmland in the US. But by 1997, that number had dwindled down to 2 million acres. And today, it's even less. And a 2021 analysis by NPR found that Black farmers receive a significantly lower share of direct loans given to farmers, finding that underscores the deep-seated discrimination that they face. And it is this historical discrimination that is why we are here today, why they find themselves in a situation today. And my good friend, John Boyd, has always and numerous times come on and talk with us about programs that become available and it seems like they become snatched back, or they're different hurdles. And this color line and this racism has not been erased. Mr. Boyd, thank you for coming on today with AURN.
Thank you very, very much for having me. I thought you'd done a great job with the introduction. And the latter part of the statement is very true, because the rug is always pulled from underneath us. It's almost like a dangling carrot, so we were promised $4 billion in debt relief by Congress and the administration. That was repealed, and we went to court and federal court with attorney Ben Crump on behalf of the 16,000 plus farmers of color, Black and other farmers of color, who was eligible for 120% debt relief. That measure is now under appeal, and I'm hopeful that the courts will look at the issue favorably. But as you look at what's going on in the country, we're going backwards. We're going backwards. Here you have affirmative action being overturned, the debt relief program for college students, student loans, pretty much repealed and blocked. Anything that it looks like could help Black people in this country is being challenged, and it's not enough of the opportunity to come on shows like yours to tell how that really affects our communities. What's going on, with Black farmers, what's going on with reparations in this country that we never got at all. So Black people never got reparations. I want to be really clear there. And we didn't get debt relief. So it's almost like 40 acres and a mule, where we were promised 40 acres and a mule, but we didn't get debt relief. And, we didn't get the first pot of money by USDA really should have been for Blacks. They changed the terminology to distressed farmers and said that those monies will go out to the farmers who had the most impact, is what they told me. And that's not Black people that's going to have the most impact out of here.
Can you talk about, I believe the money that is available that people can apply for is about $2.2 billion, but what is your perspective in this new financial assistance program? And are you hopeful that this will bring any significant changes to Black farmers?
Well, let me go through the process first. So I had a chance to look at the online application under the first two Black farmer settlement. Black farmers were asked to fill out an 8-page claim package and submit it within a time period similar to what we've been asked to do here. But now, instead of an 8-page claim package, it's going to be 40 pages. It's online. Many of our members, I want to be clear for everybody who's watching this, these older Black farmers, the average age of a Black farmer is 61 and a half years of age. They're not online people. And the way that the government has rolled it out so far doesn't look favorably towards us. There were cooperatives that were hired by or contracted with USDA to do the outreach. They announced 8 of those on USDA's website. So here it is, the National Black Farmers Association, one of the oldest Black organizations in the country representing Black farmers, didn't get selected to do outreach to 120,000 members. Now, you explain that one to me.
Wait a minute, run that back again. Break that down.
Yes, I'm saying that there were 8 cooperatives selected by USDA to do outreach in the $2.2 billion discrimination fund. And the National Black Farmers Association wasn't selected, and we're not funded to do outreach, although I'm going to do my very best to get every Black farmer in this process. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I read one of the headlines, I think it was by the Griot, where it said, Black farmers, we get $2.2 billion. And we got a ton of phone calls about it. It's not just for Black farmers. This is a discrimination fund that could be, white women can apply for it, white farmer who thinks he's been discriminated, Hispanic farmer,
Asian farmers.
Asian farmers, and a lot of the targeted areas that we looked at on USDA's website, some of them are in the Midwest, but in the state I live in, Virginia, which has a population of Black farmers, there's no sign-up office where these farmers could go in to fill out these 40-page claim forms. And on USDA's website, it says, you don't need an attorney. Well, I can tell you right now, I looked at the claim package, and an elderly Black farmer from the state of Mississippi with limited education skills is going to need technical assistance to fill out a 40-page application that will probably take us pretty savvy person, probably 3 hours to fill out, and a pretty savvy person. So the farmers are going to need on-hand technical assistance. I'm disappointed in USDA. I'm disappointed in the Ag Secretary for not tapping the National Black Farmers Association to provide resources so we can help our members. And that's what's been happening historically when these type of measures are rolled out. The government will hire primarily a white group, and then the white group will call us and say, well, we need you to help us for free, Mr. Boyd, because we've been paid to do the outreach, but we want you guys to do it for free. So I'm going to explain it to layman terms so that the average person can understand what the government is doing. So they say it's a discrimination fund, and you read some of the headlines just for Black farmers. That's not true. I wish it was. I'm on your show today saying, guess what? I wish it was $2.2 billion solely for Black farmers that we can get all of our members in and get them some relief that they've been waiting for decades. But it's not. It's a discrimination fund for anybody.
Anyone who just felt discriminated against.
It could be a veteran who said they've been discriminated. It could be a white woman who says she's been discriminated at USDA through its farm lending programs. It could be a white farmer who says he's been discriminated against. So we're competing with all of these other ethnic groups, so to speak, in this fund. And then we don't have the funding to really go out and hold the regional meetings that we need to help these farmers with the claim package. So the administration, someone needs to ask Secretary Vilsack, they said we met all the criteria. So I want to be very perfectly clear. They did not say we didn't meet the criteria. We do. Well, we've been doing outreach since the 80s. That's why we were formed, to help Black farmers, get government contracts and help us get contracts with companies. That's what we've been doing for all these years. So for them to hire other groups and not tap the oldest Black farmer organization in the country to provide outreach to our members, shame on the Biden administration. Let me say that. Shame on Secretary Vilsack, because he knows better. We've had all of this history. He's been, matter of fact, he's been the longest serving agriculture secretary in U.S. history. So he knows the challenges that we face, and they continue to do the same things every time they roll out these programs.
Have you had a chance to reach out or speak with someone? I know in the past that you absolutely have. When it comes out to this, they just rolled it out July the 7th. Have you reached out or tried to speak with someone within that office or the Secretary Vilsack?
Yes, I have. And I've had some exchanges with Secretary Vilsack, and he says he was checking in to see what happened.
Okay.
That's his response. So
Well,
far, sitting here on your show today, maybe a week or two after they announced it, he hasn't told me what's going on. So I haven't got the response back from the secretary. I've reached out to Senator Schumer's office, who's been very engaged in this since I've been asking his office for a complete farm moratorium for Black and other farmers of color to stop foreclosing and taking our land while we're trying to get through lengthy processes such as this one. We shouldn't be losing our land with an administration who says they understand and are very sensitive to Black farmer causes. But right now, as we speak, there's no complete farm moratorium that stops direct loans, guaranteed loans, or other agricultural lenders in the United States. So it's open season on Black farmers. So we're still losing our land at record numbers, and it doesn't have to be. The Agriculture Secretary could have done the same thing that former Secretary Van Glickman did in 1996, which was issue a complete farm moratorium while they resolve the cases. And I'm on your show today calling on Secretary Vilsack to issue a complete farm moratorium. That's something that it's a given, people.
right.
Whoever somebody say they want to resolve discrimination, but while they say that they're trying to resolve discrimination, I'm still taking your farm. Y'all tell me what kind of sense does that make?
Talk about, given the historical context Black farmers have faced, these significant hurdles in acquiring loans and maintaining this generational wealth because of these systematic discrimination issues. Talk a little bit briefly about some of the tangible impacts of this discrimination on Black farming in the community. What is, and I know that Black farmers have been ringing your phone constantly because they've been having the issues, but what we've been hearing sometimes as journalists, but what you're actually seeing, what are those tangible impacts?
Well, some of the immediate impacts, like right now, like when the administration announced this financial relief package, we have scammers out in places in the deep South who are passing out old claim packages that have the 8 pages. So those persons who already think they applied are not going to get a dime. So we have a scamming outfit right now that we're trying to fight. And the MBFA has limited resources. I already laid that out for you. So we're fighting bad information already. And 2, we're fighting the government where we still can't participate in these programs at a fair and equitable manner. And what I'm saying here is, when you look at the numbers every year, we're still not receiving farm ownership loans, direct operating loans, equipment loans. We're not participating at the percentage level that we should for farm subsidies in this country, which people, I'm gonna say it right on your show, is a government giveaway. A subsidy is not a loan. If there's a drought in the southern part of Virginia and the government issues payments to help farmers, that's a subsidy. Those monies are your taxpayer dollars and they're not paid back. Blacks aren't getting those subsidies. We're not getting them. For whatever reason, USDA tells you, whatever. My daddy was an old school man and he was straight up. He would say, John, did you get the money or you didn't get the money?
Did you not? Did you not? Did you not?
We didn't get it. We're not getting subsidies. We didn't get debt relief. This is the realism that we're facing. So we've been promised all of these resources, and when the money's rolled out, they never really reach our community to make a substantial impact. So I'm eager to see what happens in the 90-day sign-up period. If we ain't got a damn dime, I'm gonna do the best I can on outreach to make sure that every Black farmer that is eligible takes part in this process. The government ain't gonna take that away, whether we're a cooperator or not. We ain't been a cooperator all this time, and they haven't stopped my efforts, and they ain't gonna stop them today. But what I'm showing the public is that there's a systematic pattern of the way that they treat the leading organization that has raised all of these issues, that has the end result of getting the $2.2 billion, because we're at the forefront of these issues. And then when the monies are rolled out, USDA says, oh, because you're the leading advocate, or we're not going to let you participate in a monetary level.
Hmm.
I call that more discrimination and retaliation, but it is what it is. But I want people to know on your show, the National Black Farmers Association will lead the way and get every black farmer that's eligible. I'm going to see to it that they be a part of this process, whether the government wants us in it or not. That's not their choice.
As we kind of come to an end on the interview, the USDA's Farm Service Agency Administrator, Zach Duchenaw, he acknowledged the high rate of rejection and withdrawal rates for non-traditional growers, including farmers of color. So it seems like what you're saying is that there needs to be a larger cultural shift when it comes to USDA to ensure fair and equitable, which is a word that sometimes can be missing from the language, equitable processing of these loan applications. On the back to that, what tangible steps, as we end, would you recommend to the USDA, to policymakers, and really society as a large to rectify some of the issues that are going on and support Black farmers in their endeavor just to survive?
Let's take the middle part of it. Elected officials, the Congressional Black Caucus. These guys have been, many of these guys I know in persons and women I know very personal, in a personal way. In the 80s, and there were 35 to 40 CBC members. Now we almost double that number. And instead of increasing our impact, we haven't had the impact that those amount of members should be able to impact to get some legislation passed. So we were doing more effective stuff in the 80s when we only had 30 CBC members. Let's do a better job at making sure that issues like Black farmers are at the top of your agenda and not somewhere at the middle or towards the end. Representative Clyburn, who said, hey, board, the climate ain't right now to help Black farmers. And my response to him was, well, when is the climate going to be right? When there's no more Black farmers left? Because of what's going on politically, where white America is now challenging Blacks on every corner, this isn't the time to do the lay down salad. This is the time to stand up and fight back. We have a Democratic president. He said he was going to do something to challenge the decision on debt relief and affirmative action. Okay, where's the stroke of the pen challenging that? Where's the stroke of the pen challenging the $4 billion in debt relief? Do something administratively and keep fighting back. Just because white America and the way that Trump opened the box to say it's all right to beat down Black issues and to take us back, we have to find ways to stand up and say, you know what, we're not laying down and we're not taking this. And so I'm hearing from other leaders, well, boy, you don't have no choice but to take this. I got a whole lot of choices. You know, I can get my mule and travel around the country and make sure that my issues are front and center in this presidential debate. And I'm going to do that. That's the first. The second thing is Black America has to start supporting the issue of Black farmers. There's no reason why someone of real significance isn't watching your show, your White House reporter, and retweeting this. I mean, that's something that someone who has 20 million followers, and Snoop Dogg and some of these other guys, how about retweeting your story today and sharing it with a larger audience in Black America? Let them know that Black farmers are losing their land in record numbers. We're being mistreated by companies. We're facing farm foreclosures that our organization doesn't have the financial support to stop. These are things that Black America can do to support us. That's a call to action right now. So you have the political side and you have the public awareness side from our own community that this issue isn't at the top of their social media platforms.
John Boyd, thank you so much for coming on. It is always a pleasure to hear from you, and especially how passionate you are about this. But more than anything, this is an important issue for all of us to be educated on, to become activated in our communities about. So you are always welcomed on AURN on this platform to come and share, and we will reach back out with you. Definitely also be a voice. We always say a voice for those who are oppressed. But we want to say thank you for the work that you're doing and staying in this fight, because
Thank
it's
you.
a shame that Black folk have gone down so far in ownership of land.
Well,
And
thank you.
God ain't making no more land.
Thank you for having me, and for my people. Don't give up the fight for justice. And I love you. I say these things out of passion, and because I love my people. I love my history. I love who I am in my skin. I'm the darkest man. I'm the darkest Black leader in the country, people. I love my Blackness and I love my people, and I'm not going to give up the fight for justice for Black farmers in this country.
Absolutely. You have our best. Thank you so much, Sister Boyd.